nasa ano pa, on the phone. See, nagte-technical.
Ah,
She's fixing our technical.
I will watch her. I want to
Kunyari.
talking to para
we're going live here.
tell her.
How are you, gang? You still, you make your soap, of course.
Yes, actually I stopped because
Yeah.
it's curing time and people are
Okay.
I
You
like that I
like-
made soap this time around for people who donated to
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Rolly. Yeah, so it wasn't a sale at all. People would donate and I'd say send thank you soaps.
Nice.
I suppose. Kasi may COVID pa, so we still need soap.
Yeah. I want soap.
Oh, that's right.
I
Send
need
you.
to get in touch with you.
Tuesday. This is
Yeah. Do I do live there? Here. Wait, that's that.
favorite ko tong dalawang tweeters na to. Actually, the three of you, I read your tweets a lot. I super enjoy it sometimes.
Oh. Syempre,
I
I
think
love it.
appreciate ko sa Twitter kasi parang you can see slash sense the mood change of the person
Yeah, depending on,
depending on what they watched.
yeah, and like, yeah. Like sometimes, well, I have a lot of self-control. I have to say that. I'm able to like try and live with it.
That's okay.
But there are times I'm only human. So I really have to, like
Ah.
stuff that like, it's like, it's so obvious.
Yeah. Ako, I like recording the obvious asininity, the obvious idiocy. I always record it kasi we might forget. So
Correct.
I want to take advantage of the archiving capacity of the net.
Galing yan.
So
Hey, guys.
I'll always write na parang they said this, he said this, she said that, para we don't forget.
Are we live?
For the record.
We're live.
All right, here we go.
So thank you, Check, for fixing the technical difficulty.
Tinawag ko lang.
With a phone call.
Binibigyan lang kita ng more power. More power.
Guys, thank you very much and welcome to Tuesday.
Welcome
Yay!
again.
Oh,
That's
May
me with the bell.
My bell.
Yeah.
Yung level of enthusiasm dito, wala akong bell. Pero meron akong Godzilla.
Yay, cute.
Godzilla ashtray. So ilalagay ko yung
Oh my gosh.
okay.
house niya.
Wow.
Wala akong reaction, parang, oh, God. Watch. Sige, okay lang. Uy, ukay find to in the early 2000s sa Baguio.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I
know.
know.
Euphoria.
Produces it. Look, it's a Godzilla, perfectly, designed. There's a hole, that's the ashtray. And then butas yung kanyang mouth where the smoke comes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
That's
super
cool.
cool. I think
Science yan, science.
I know.
It
Science.
involves science.
Hello,
FYI.
Tuesday.
Okay, so on Tuesday, we talk about mostly voter education because of all the misinformation and disinformation out there. So this is really for the individual gang. Welcome to the show. So we are not taking sides. We are not trying to influence people. We are only influence people to register
Okay.
And vote wisely.
and to vote wisely. Yes. And to
But we can't help it, no? I mean, you can't ever show up in the world and be absolutely, objective and guileless. That puts you on zero.
No, just for the show. We're talking about the show. Yeah. We're mostly we're trying to inform people because there's a lot of people don't even know the basics of what kind of ID to use.
Okay.
And
Or that
and
even
the procedure, yeah.
when we had James Jimenez on the show a couple of weeks ago, like even I didn't know that the voter registration form had to be printed on a certain type of paper, parang 20 GSM or something.
80 GSM.
80 GSM. Sorry, see, mali ako.
I have your paper, check.
Thank you so much. Kailangan ko yan.
Yeah. So wag ka bibili.
Yes, thank
So
you, Pina.
no, I have voter's ID.
Wait.
Oh, wala
sandali.
nang voter's ID.
Wala na daw,
Yeah,
diba?
bakit may voter's ID ka? Kami wala. Wala. As in,
nga.
we don't.
Ako makasalita ako, akala mo nag-register ako.
I'll tell you why. I
Yeah.
got this voter's ID in 2016. It was mailed to me but the chairman of the COMELEC was still Jose Melo, which means it's a few years late. So don't get excited. Don't even feel remotely special. It came to me 2 COMELEC chairs after. But the signature is Melo, which means I registered during his time.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
but for the record, we never got ours.
Yeah.
We never got ours. We never.
And I think we're registered ahead of you, maybe.
Yes.
I'm sure kasi umuwi ako late.
Yeah.
Pero
Yeah,
nakuha ko siya many years late. In fact, my address is still like my family home. So I
Wait.
still vote where I was born.
I
So
don't see-
currently, there will be no more voters ID, right, Goyo?
No, because they stopped making voters ID IDs a couple of years ago, and because they want to integrate with the national ID.
You know,
Okay.
they stopped making voters IDs when it was your turn, the 3 of you. So hindi kayo napadala. Dala ko lang. Hindi kayo napadalan. Magalona na, wag na.
All right.
KLM yung last name nyo eh. Same area of the alphabet na kayo eh.
Wala na. Kasi hindi na umabot sa amin eh. Hindi na.
Oo. Hanggang H lang.
Yeah, to think, no?
Because they want to unite it supposedly with the national ID system. Tama ba?
Correct, yeah.
A little bit. In 2010, there was a unified ID system that was being proposed that time. And there was a proposal that the COMELEC ID would be integrated to that parang postal I think Pag-ibig GSIS ID. We pushed it to NBank and until now, until I left, they never approved it. No cost sana yun. At that time pa, it would have been easier to get a voter's ID, but wala, it wasn't passed. So until now, wala pang ID. Yeah, well, ikaw Gang, you have an ID. So
I know, umabot ako.
umabot ka. I
Pero
feel,
iba pa yung chairman nun.
yes.
Pili ko kakaalis lang nung hapon nung nag-register ako eh.
Oh, wait. We forgot to mention this, and it's good that we mentioned this at the start of the show. We are still partnered with Sweet Ecstasy.
Yes.
Oh, the
So,
burgers.
yes. So if you send in questions today, just use the hashtag Tuesday, CHOOSD, as in choose, pili ka, ganyan.
Yes.
Tuesday. And send us your questions. And while Gang is here, you know, she's such a wealth of information. And she's very outspoken. She's one of our bravest advocates and everything. So, you know what? While she's here, please take advantage. And hopefully she can answer your questions and you can get a Sweet Ecstasy burger.
I think the burger is the better part of this. But may I start why this means a lot to me?
Okay.
Other than the fact that it should mean a lot to everyone.
Mhm.
Alam mo, lahat ng sasabihin this afternoon, alam nyo na. Alam ko na alam nyo na to. But we will integrate as best we can within the hour, the things you may have forgotten or information that fell through the cracks. Number one, the most important pillar of a democracy is an election. I'm sure alam nyo na to. Kasi, ang sabi ng democracy, you can choose your leaders. Okay? Which means nobody just shows up and says, I'm the leader, the majority gets to choose it. So in Greek democracy, ito yung cornerstone. So when you mess with elections, you mess with almost, subsequently everything else. Kasi what?
Yes.
Kasi when you vote someone, they also appoint people. When a president is voted, he or she appoints at least 11 to 12,000 people easily. So meaning, when you vote someone, kasama dun lahat ng inappoint sa BIR, SSS, lahat ng mag-a-affect sa'yo. Okay? So yun talaga, that's very important to know. Second, I'm very passionate about elections because, do you remember Hello Garci? I'm sure you remember.
Yes.
I'm sure you remember Hello Garci.
I
That
remember,
was
I'm sorry.
2004 when it came out, when then President Arroyo said, I will not run. And then she ran. Because, what's the worst of word these days?
Mhm.
So she said in the PMA graduation, December 31, 2004, I will not run. Yeah, so others were poised, must have been Angelo Reyes, etc. at the time, the late Angelo Reyes. And then she ran anyway. So when she ran, and then there's this Hello Garci, which is her voice recorded calling the chair of the COMELEC, right? And Mike Defensor, I don't know what his position is now. He said that is her voice, but that's not her. I love that quote. I love those quotes. So let's not forget these quotes. But that's the start of Rock It for me. This is why this is so important, because when I realized, wow, this incumbent president wasn't voted, she just took over,
Mhm.
Erap, called the head of COMELEC, and we got to record it. And we're okay with it? Parang
I know. There's a lot of that.
I was so idealistic. I just came from studying elsewhere and kakauwi ko lang from the States, and I'm back, and I'm feeling ko I'm back in Philippine arms. And then I was feeling everything. And then I said, wait, ito rin yung problema nung 86 eh.
Mhm.
We knew there were ballot boxes being stolen, for it was analog pa at the time, ninanakaw pa literally ng goons yung mga ballot boxes, etc. Because it's not anymore it wasn't yet a 7-hour smart glitch at that time. This time it was real people actually stealing boxes, right? And I know the whole country was enraged na parang you are not counting our votes. Now, whether President Marcos incumbent won or Cory Aquino candidate lost or won or either way, we just want to make sure that everything is counted. Yun lang naman yun eh. And they didn't finish counting. They just declared President Marcos won, etc., etc. And I forget who the vice president was. Was it Tolentino? Oh, Tolentino.
Yes.
Arturo Tolentino. So for me, nung nangyari yung Hello Garci, sabi ko, but tamad na ba tayo na iba yung reaction? Or did we forget that this is the same thing that caused the revolution? Or did we just complain about the elections nung 86 dahil grabe na yung ginagawa ng incumbent president with proof in courts that he's been stealing, so na-feel natin. And with Gloria, parang no fault masyado, or we don't like the kapalit. I don't know why we were okay with it. I don't know.
No, because all throughout we have been coward actually.
I don't know.
Right?
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So I said, why is there no reaction? And in 86, there was a wild, there was like a pimple popped. Parang all of a sudden, 4 days we were in the streets, etc. I know it's just in NCR. I get it. It's just in Ortigas Corner, EDSA. But still, people showed up. So I was saying, there has to be another revolution. But it cannot be 4 days. Because we saw that 4 days don't change it. It got to be more sustained. So Rocket for me was a form of, I'm going to do this for 10 years. Coming. So let the revolution be longer than 4 days. That's why I like so important.
Okay.
So
Because 7 hours, there were 7 hours of we didn't know what was floating in the ether. And then all of a sudden, we have a list of letters. Sorry, I got cut. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Pia.
Well, in 86, because the military was there, that's why it worked.
What? Yeah, they backed us up. You're right.
Yes, exactly. So in the Hello Garci, like people were just so shocked and parang we were already complacent. It's like, I mean, one revolution should be enough, right?
Of
So,
that
yeah.
form. One
Of
rev-
that, yeah, of that form.
Yeah.
And then like people were like, so it's like it's too shocking that it's like again, it's being done again. So, but going back, that's why we need, let's change our mindset. Let's change a little at a time. Let's change ourselves and
Yeah,
not
Pia, Pia,
complacent
Goyo, and Cesca. I listened to the Hello Garci tapes recently again.
yeah.
There's a record online.
Yes.
And alam mo, parang arte nito, pero sasabihin ko, I was so heartbroken. Talagang ang sakit sa dibdib. Kasi ang dami-dami kong years nagpupunta sa campus, nagpo-promote ng register vote, etc. It's your strongest voice. It's louder than 10,000 tweets. You need to vote, etc. This is your bullet, whatever, against no. And then you hear a president say, kamusta na yung bilang natin sa Sulu? Baka sumobra ha, ganyan. O, kamusta na tayo sa talagang, pwede ba mag-bad word dito? Grabe! Yung feeling ko, ang dami-daming education, idealism, love of country na pumapasok in the efforts of registering and voting. And then you have people in power that just call each other up and say, pakidagdag dito sa Cebu, pakidagdag dun sa whatever, kilala mo ba yung nandun, magaling ba yun sa math, dagdag mo dun, wag sumobra, baka mahalata.
Mm-hmm.
The it's enough to make anybody stop actually loving social work, social civic involvement. It's enough to make anybody heartbroken if like you're a traumatized lover. Para kang binray ka eh.
Exactly. Betrayal, betrayal.
Para kang iniwanan
Mas okay pa yung breakan ka, di ba?
I know
Kesa-
ito, na-overhear mo na parang
Yeah, di ba?
Okay.
Pero pinapanin,
Gagawin
that's gaslighting. Kasi sinasabing hindi. Di ba they were telling us,
yeah.
they were telling us hindi yung totoo, di ba?
Hindi lang yun ang sinabi nila, Pia, and I quote, Mike Defensor said that
Correct.
is voice, but that is not her. I love that quote. It's just,
He probably, he's like he's trying to say na they patched words together, manipulated it,
ito
stuff like that.
postmodern. Parang,
It's
this
gaslighting.
is Pia, but this is not, parang ganun. This is not a pipe. Magrit? Really? Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So like
That's really-
we've got like all the emotions running high, and that's understandable. Obviously, we've also discussed this with James when he said, of course, like voting, that's why you have to vote, that's why you have to register, you have to vote for better. But also, if you're happy with how things are, then you know what, vote for the same. But that's your
But
choice.
still vote. Yeah.
That is your right. Just vote. So
Yeah.
of course we have the elections coming up in 2022, and that's why we wanted to discuss this with you also, gang. Like our topic for today is also, with all the names that you mentioned, with all the issues that popped up, the scandals, the recordings, everything. Like, is there a perfect candidate?
No, of course not. There's not.
we already know that no, there is no such thing as a
Not-
perfect candidate. But what should people look for, or what should people at least research on to
At least
figure out whether or not this particular candidate is worth that vote?
Whether the candidate is an incumbent, meaning presently serving, or galing sa private sector, or galing sa out of nowhere, pwede naman yun. Kasi we've seen that happen. Mahalagang mahalaga na alam mo yung history ng tao. Hindi lang ng trabaho niya, siguro, well, I know that the private part, the private aspect of a person may or may not be your business. That's your call. But at least work done. Kasi sinabi ni Attorney Oli Reyes, he's the lawyer, he's the with Rock Ed, and I love quoting him. Taglines are promises, but history is evidence. So look through the history of the person. Anong nagawa?
Great quote.
Anong nagawa niya? What did he or she stand for? What has she kahit not done? Kasi we know the aspect of potential. Totoo naman yung potential. It's parang it's your first job. Paano kung wala ka pang experience, wala ka pang nagawa, quote unquote. But lately kasi with the power of information and the internet, private citizens may nagagawa na eh.
Yeah.
So kahit yun pwede mo na makita. Hindi naman to analog na, although we love analog. Hindi na to analog na out of nowhere na lang yung tao na who's this? Somehow you've heard of them, whether through JC's Rotary,
Yes.
I don't know, diba? Somehow you've heard of them. But
Or even if they served on, like we were talking about last week, they served in their high school, college, org, stuff like that. And then kung ano yung character ng tao, di ba?
Yeah. Alam mo, ang weird, I don't know, let me ask the three of you, since I'm a psychotherapist. Let me ask you, you really have ugali from the time you were in kindergarten, and it's still there now. Think about it. Yeah, you do. Yeah,
For sure.
Whatever it is.
There are some habits you don't outgrow.
Nanatili. Ibig sabihin, baseline mo yun sa ugali. So, hanap tayo ng maayos na baseline. Lahat ba tayo sumasaliwa? Of course, lahat tayo nagkakamali. Yes, but ang layo naman ng minsan-minsan, ang layo naman ng nobody's perfect sa systematic plunder, di ba? Ang layo naman nun. If they say, tao lamang, ang layo naman ng tao lamang sa systematic EJK or, or plunder na
Pero there are some things that, sabi ko nga, like a guide, like sa character and sa actions ng tao is, number one, ang important, not just a politician, pero even in the office or even in the family, team player ba yung tao? Hindi yung feeling niya siya lang yung nakakagawa. That's a very basic way to see it, na parang lahat ng credit gusto niya sa kanya, or parang important sa kanya yung mga credit nga na puput. Parang konting kibot, gusto meron kaagad na affirmation, di ba? Yung mga ganon. So parang out dapat yung mga ganon.
No, Pia. Actually, lahat ng sinasabi mo, absolutely human nature yun. Who doesn't want to be complimented when you do good work? Who doesn't want? I mean, if I do something, I'd love a thank you. I appreciate. Oh, thanks, gang. You helped
Yeah,
in.
but that's not
Badoy.
the main purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Uh-uh.
yung existence nun, needing to be appreciated and thanked, walang problema. Who doesn't have that? All have that. May problema if it's in excess and you steal in order to print a tarp to praise yourself, dun may problema. So, it's in the further decision. So, mainly, ang sinasabi ko, walang perfect. Sino ibo-vote mo? Si Mother Mary, namatay na siya, okay? Wala nang ganon. Or sila din, wala na rin. So, I'm sure hindi rin sila ganun ka-okay in real life. But anyway, that's beside the point. My point is, it's better na you judge them from the work, the decisions they make regarding our money. What have they, yung mga decision na nagawa nila base sa ginamit ba yung buwis natin or hindi? Saan galing pera? Mahalagang tanong yun. And sorry, galing yun sa trauma of the Philippines na ninakawan ng paulit-ulit ng mga Marcos. Yung parang, kasama yun yung SALN. Kaya nga may SALN Statement of Assets and Liabilities. Kasi we are a traumatized people. Ninakawan tayo in decades systematically and they still have it. The Swiss account still exists. Yep. No? So the SALN, trauma recovery to, kung tao ang Philippines. Yung SALN na need that somebody, it's like a girlfriend needing the boyfriend to say goodnight every night so she's sure where he is. Kasi she was cheated on once. Parang ganon. So, let's endure that. So, for me, yung mga traits na sinasabi mo, napaka-ideal sana kung talagang hindi naghahanap ng credit, napaka-ideal just for the work sake. And guess what? May mga taong ganon. So, cool. Meron talaga. But I'd rather judge based on, do they need praise? I mean, who doesn't? All toddlers need praise. Do they need to be thanked? Yes. But do they steal in order to hire 300 accounts to praise them? Doon may problema ako. Do they hire troll farms to say, this president is fantastic and I love him?
Yeah.
Those are fake accounts. So that's inauthentic behavior. They spend pa our money. So for me, ganun din yung for the next candidate. No? Kung kailangan mo mag-hire ng 300 fake names para sabihin magaling ka, may problema tayo. Hindi ka talaga ganun kagaling.
Yes.
Diba? Hindi ka pala talaga ganun kagaling. Kailangan mo mag-hire ng fake shit diba? So, what? No. In fact, you should have by your work itself. You don't even have to
It's the work that shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hindi mo kailangan magsalita. Alam ko may nagawa si Goyo. Alam ko ang daming natulungan ni Francis M. Foundation. I also know how Cesca's involved in the sports world. None of you, the three of you, have to say anything about your resumes because I've seen the work. I mean, we ordinary people, we don't run. They even know our work. What more these people who have the apog to say, I want to represent you? Well, dapat may mas nagawa kayong mas spectacular kaysa kay Cesca kung gusto niyo tumakbo. Kami nagawa ni Cesca. Diba?
Ano ko ginawa?
Marami kayong natulungan kaysa kay Pia. Diba? 3 stars and the sun. The 3 stars and the sun, and that you continuing the heritage that left by France is amazing. You know why? Because the 3 stars and the sun, even just the shirt, encourages the next generation to appreciate our flag, appreciate the country. Or you think that's nothing? Are you kidding me? That's forming. That's formation. That's way better than being impolite and rude in public or on the podium.
Exactly.
We form culture So, yeah, ang dami mong nagawa, Pia. Ikaw rin, Goyo. Ikaw rin, Cesca. Ako rin. Ang dami ko rin nagawa. Di ba? The mere fact I breathe. So kayo rin. So what more? And none of us are running. What more them? You have the audacity to say, I am the best of you. I will represent you. Well, show me the work. Please.
All right. Okay. Again, we have to say hi to. We have so many comments on the Facebook Live now.
There's some questions
So
also.
there are questions, and again, if you want to send in your questions and have a chance to win a Sweet Ecstasy burger and get it delivered to you, don't forget to use the hashtag Tuesday when you post your questions.
It's a great price.
Yes, I love Sweet Ecstasy.
Sweet Ecstasy burger. Oh my gosh.
This one, Cecil has a question. I'm sure Goyo can answer this as well. Cecil is asking, how can I transfer my voting registration from Taguig to Pasig and from QC to Pasig for my children?
Okay, so what you do is you go to the COMELEC website. It's irehistro.comelec.gov.ph. Then you fill it up. No, you can choose there kasi you choose as to register as a new voter or you choose to transfer your voting registration from one clustered precinct to another. It's either within the city or to another city or municipality. Uh, if you go to the website, let me I'll post the link here later ha. But once you go there, you fill up the form. Pagkatapos doon, it's an online appointment form. Then they'll give you a schedule go to the Comelec office where you're transferring to, not transferring from. So for example, you're going to Pasig, right? So if you're going to transfer to Pasig, you'll be set an appointment to the Comelec office in Pasig. Then you print out the paper, the form, 3 copies. Then just remember, don't put your thumb mark, don't put your signature. They'll have your picture taken, biometrics taken. Then 5 to 10 minutes, you're done.
Okay. And we have to say hi to Grace. I love how Grace every week is here. Hi, Grace.
And
Good
Goyo,
noon, Attorney Goyo and guests. Nixon is also online with us today. Endo is also online. He has a question. With your stint at Comelec, can you say that with the computerized voting, have we seen the last of the Garcia incident?
well, sa computerized voting kasi, you can easily audit it. You can easily audit the votes, especially for local. For national, it takes time, but there's always a trail of it. What's important is there are people who 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 have concerns about the electoral process. What's important is if there are concerns, they have to be answered with specific detail. I mean to say, if I have a question regarding one part of the process, it has to be explained to me, not with motherhood statements, but not by being brushed aside, but with clear and concise and explanation as to what is the problem, what is the cause of it, and what's the real situation.
Okay. And Boyet Season is watching.
Oh, hi, Boyet.
Hi, Boyet.
Hey, Boyet.
Hey, I love Boyet.
All right. Endo also has a comment for Gang. Gang, nice to see you and speak of relevant issues against those people in power who would label your advocacies as fake news. That's from Endo. Boyet, the problem of many of our people is that they have lost their values.
Oh, yeah.
Aragwi, masakit.
I think we didn't lose it. I think we forgot lang.
You have to be reminded.
Iba yung season sa tuluyang nawala. Hindi lang natin mahanap right now kasi ang ingay ng mga nasa taas eh.
No, but I mean, it's a continuing process that just because it worked before, you can be complacent, but you have to consistently be on guard.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Sayaw talaga. Kung iba na yung rhythm ng kanta, gumalaw ka to a different beat, di ba?
Exactly. Tama yan.
Michael is asking. We have a question from Michael. Is there someone here in the Philippines that can actually be the president who is willing to put the country and its citizens first before their personal needs?
I think we're a country of 109 million people. We have about 61 right now million registered voters. I think we can find at least one of those 61 million, right, who should be qualified.
Register first and then
yes, again,
do your research.
We're not no one here is telling you who to vote for, but like we are definitely telling you to please register because it is your right to choose.
May I answer, Michael?
Yes.
There's someone here in the Philippines that can actually be president who is willing to put the country first. Your question has like 3 parts. Is there someone here in the Philippines willing to put the country and citizen and personal needs? Yes. Can they be president? I don't know because it takes a different muscle to win. Like I am
to even run.
Yeah, just to run.
And I think everybody here puts country first, mostly. Ibang muscle kasi yung pwedeng mag-lead sa pwedeng manalo eh. That makes sense.
Yes.
Goyo can run a country.
Dolphy said that.
I think I can run a country, but I don't think I'll win. So,
diba, he said,
different thing. So,
madaling manalo, pero what happens pag nanalo ka na?
Yes, but let me answer, Michael. One, putting country and citizen before personal needs is a really tall order because personal needs involve your family, your children, etc. It's too much to ask for from a human to put country first, because country is so abstract. So let's break down your question. They will love their family, they will take care of their families. Nation as abstract is a different muscle. Kaya bang alagaan, unahin? Meaning, in the obvious overlaps, like hindi ko nanakawin yung buwis, yun yung overlap ng personal need and country. Pero yung iba, mas mahalaga for me na maghanap ng indicators of a good president, like does he show up pag flag ceremony, because the number one thing I personally expect from a president is that he or she shows up to represent us. He or she is the face facing the rest of the world, and his back is on us and we're behind him, right? That's the picture of what a president is. When you want to picture a president, paki-picture naman yung United Nations at sinong katabi ng flag. Nagiging proud ka ba?
I always say that.
Straight body ka ba pag president namin yan? Or do you fold? Parang, for me, marami is there someone here? Yes, but Michael, your question has, it demands an orchestration of about 100 other things. But the possibility that there's one person, it's like love. I don't think there's the one. I think there are many. And if the orchestration of things fall into place, then he or she will surface up. I think. Parang ano yan belief in a soulmate na isa lang talaga for me. Or marami namang options, pwede naman sila i-date la. At kung tama yung tempo, tama yung timing sa'yo, even if your issues are already processed and you're in a better place, you can end up with someone. How many of you dated someone in high school where you thought, this is the one? Okay, I'm gonna
Sorry.
taking title. That's very telling. Okay, that was very telling, but thank you for the laugh. How many of us really fell in love at 17, 18 and said, this is the one, only one. Ito na yon. And then, of course, you break up, generally. And then you find
and you make up again. I mean,
and then you find
sino naman dyan, gang? Grabe to.
Then you find someone, ito kasi yung best metaphor And then you find someone na hindi ka flabbergasted siguro nung una. Pwede na kasi cute. Di ka may in love pag hindi cute May minimum requirement sa looks Pero you can see that you can grow with that person, etc., etc. And you say, and then there's another option. If you're lucky, there's like 2 or 3 other options. And then you find out you end up with someone when the orchestration is near perfect. It's never perfect, but passing grade. 85. Okay. Ano bang passing grade ngayon? Anyway, when all those orchestrations happen, then someone will surface. So who am I looking for? True. Somebody who puts the country first and above personal needs, meaning don't steal from buwis. But please worry about your children. Even if you're a president, please worry about your children. That's your primary your responsibility. Second, because it doesn't make sense that you take care of a country and your children are messed up. That's weird. As a psychotherapist, I don't want that. So you have backing of groups, you have history of work, and then you surface and somebody wants to back you up with money. Unfortunately, realistic yung need ng money. People are banking on you, they will bet on you, and they'll support you, and that's who wins.
We actually have an interesting question from Albert Cuenca. Hi, Albert. Do you think we should replace our political system? If so, what do you recommend? Like, should we limit to 2 parties only?
It's you want to go or
Go.
Whoever wants to answer.
if you're going to replace the political party system, you have to amend the constitution or revise the constitution. And that if the problem with doing that is once you open the doors, there's pretty much no limit as to what you can change in the constitution. There might be just 5 provisions you want to change, but in the process you can probably change 50. So who will stop now the changing of the provisions that you want kept, diba? Political party system.
How many do we have at this point?
We have a lot. But just imagine when in every elections, the COMELEC gives about accreditation or recognition to the top 10 national political parties. And that's just national political parties. There are many local political parties, regional, provincial, city. But sa national, pretty much there are about 20 strong political parties. Some old, some new. In other countries kasi, the political parties they're more mature. So once I go join a political party, I adhere to the policies, platform of government of that political party. It's not for convenience. In the Philippines, a lot of people switch from political party not because of policies or platform of government, but because of convenience. So I guess everybody knows that, right? So that has to change. That has to be changed. And there is a proposed legislation to prevent political butterflies. So the proposal is that if you're with a political party, you can't migrate to another political party within a certain period of time. So that's going to be good. Um, I'm not so sure if it will pass.
That's
Huh?
a start. That's a
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
Yung political parties, halimbawa sa America, Republicans, Democrats, etc., napaka-set in stone ng this is what Democrats are all about at ito ang Republican, this is what we're all about. Meaning nasulat talaga nila. They've had the luxury, no, the privilege of time, length of time happen, na-establish, etc. So sasali ako ng Democratic Party kung ito ang mga values ko, dito ako. Sasali ako sa Republicans kasi ito ang values ko. Ganon. So, yun ang big difference, ha. Sa ibang bansa, karamihan, Southeast Asia, not so much. They kind of look a bit like us. But, yung established, evolved, mature political parties, this is what we are about. That's what they're saying.
Yes.
This is what we're about. Hindi, this is who we are.
Yes.
Kasi dito, grabe, meron nga tayong I forget what it's called, but then may LP Atienza, may LP ganyan.
Yeah.
Named after people. Then there's an Angara, and then there's there's PDP, I don't know, Rocco, and then we go by
Personalities.
And I hate to say this, na-overlap tayo ng celebrity culture and media. I'm gonna have to say this, kasi yung mga yung sa ibang bansa like Germany and etc. na-establish muna nila yung values ng political party. Tapos nagka-celebrity culture, okay? Tayo, medyo tas pa yung what the party is all about. Biglang nag-overtake yung media, internet, etc. So, parang, how do I say this? Hindi pa malinis yung stage ng isa. Pumasok na yung celebrity media culture which started around the 60s or 50s or 70s. Definitely when JFK came in, and it's not about being democratic, it's about him being good looking and his wife stylish. It became that. So nagka-overlap, tapos nagkaroon ng saksakan ng daming behind the scenes, so you get endeared to them kasi they're playing football, they're playing ganyan, you know.
Yeah.
Nag-overlap. So hindi pa tapos. Parang kumbaga hindi pa tapos yung scaffolding, nagbumuhos na ng semento ng celebrityhood. Kaya tayo may need ngayon maghimay. Like, what is he about? Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Everybody knows Angaras are about education, heritage, and every now and then Sunny is about sports. Everybody knows that Lauren Legarda is about, heritage, the trees. She's responsible for Joyce Kilmer's homes in all our highways. I think that I shall never see. So therefore, may general idea ka what they stand for. Ito environment, ito medyo ganyan. Kasi ba makita time na negosyo, etc.
Yeah.
So they're about something, We kind of have a feel of they're consistent. Hindi pa yun set in stone for many of our people in politics. Sayang. So nangyayari, gumagalaw-galaw din sila. Like for example, Sunny joined Hugpong ng Pagbabago, and then, they kind of move. Even if as individuals, they're good legislators and they're about this, but then now they are associated with ABC. So nakakalito yan for the voter. So for me, at least for me, personally, please don't imagine that what I say is absolutely correct. It's an ongoing process. As Goyo said, as voters, we really keep learning. For me, the last elections, I did not base on party na. I didn't base on party na. I based on, anong important sa akin? DepEd, sports, because I'm the mental wellness fitness of our national athletes, some of our national athletes and the elite athletes. So I believe in sports. So I like legislators who focus on sports. I'm also a firm believer of the Mental Health Act and the mental wellness. Let's take care of that, etc. And those who are remotely at least will stay sovereign and faithful to the Philippines and not give us away to any other country that's bidding for us. Para yun ang apat na mahalaga sa akin. Doon ako nag-vote. regardless of LP, PDP,
Right.
like secondarily ignore that for at least for the 2019 elections. Parang in-ignore ko muna yon. I voted based on issues first na mahalaga sa akin. Sa akin talaga schools. Kung palitan mo yung public schools, may magbabago. Maraming magbabago. However, pag pinag-uusapan ng presidente, when you vote a president, that president comes with his or her friends, family, connections, belief, etc. Unless you're sure that this president believes in merit. In which case, hindi siya mag-a-appoint ng kaibigan over someone na magaling na hindi niya kasundo masyado. Maraming ganun eh. Di ba like for example, Project Noah. Okay? Sobrang galing ng mga geologists doon. Hardcore. But then if somebody in NDRRMC immediately decides, I don't like Professor Lag,
Yeah.
I don't like Mahar, hindi na kasali yung Project Noah. I mean, that would be super run-on.
Kasi nga, hindi daw important yung budget doon, di ba?
Yeah, parang
People who don't get it. Yeah.
I don't mind emotions being part of the compass of your decision-making skills, but I do mind if it's the only person sitting in your board of trustees of decisions. I think merit should be part of that. Results-based should be part of that. Budget, expertise. And then if we're lucky, we like them. You know, if we're lucky, we like. Nice to have na lang yon. Kasi may chemistry naman talaga. Pero iba talagang, ayoko sila in person, pero ang galing.
Yeah, ako, I'm always like that. Di ko naman talaga sila, I really don't care. I don't even want to think of
I
them.
don't even like them, pero
Pero
magaling.
gusto ko na may record sila ng
Oh, pero alam
ginawa.
mo, Pia, grabe tayong Filipinos. I don't know if it's a Filipino thing lang or a human being thing. When we like someone, like they're our thing, they're our type, they don't offend our sensibilities, we forgive them. You know, we really forgive the funny, we really forgive the cute. I'll give you an example since you brought him up, Dolphy. Right?
Yeah.
Dolphy is so funny and charming and kind. I met him in person, and he's like the only one that kept me starstruck. If I look at his track record, I can really name him misogynist. He didn't take care of your women, whatever, super babaero, na. And I could have not liked him, but he's funny. So I kind of forgave him all my life growing up. Not to mention, society made me think Dolphy's okay, right? And then I believed his role as John Purontong in John and Marcia, that he was a kind husband, married to, Nida Blanca, and that he had a great sense of humor. He tried very hard to be wealthy, but, the Biennan so evil, etc. I believe that role. I'm not saying Dolphy's evil. I love Dolphy. I'm just saying we give exemptions to people we have chemistry with. So hopefully when we vote, the chemistry takes third place. Pwede bang function muna, expertise, and then if we like them, swerte na lang natin. Parang ganun. It's like parang you really like talking to someone, and then, baka mukha niya si Keanu Reeves. Yay! Nice to have, diba? Parang okay na rin yun. Why will you reject that, diba? Pero, kaysa naman kamukha ni Keanu Reeves, pero ang sahol ng ugali. Come on, who would you date, really, diba? So, nice to have lang yung chemistry. Yung mga, ay gusto ko siya, ang gaan ng loob ko sa kanya na congressperson. And you'll say, ano yung gagawa ng gaan ng loob mo?
Yeah.
Nation yun. You just like looking at them, etc. But, sana
That's why we want to register as soon as you can so that you have a lot of time to do research and to feel, the vibe of people so that hindi tayo nagka-cramming.
I want to point out something, no? Kasi somebody mentioned that we should reach out in reaching out to the voting population. Let's be effective with who our discussion. So
sige, ako magta-translate na sinasabi mo, Goyo.
This is not only one episode. I mean, say we're talking with several people, and this will be a number of episodes. And actually, I talked to some people from Mindanao already. And they're going to be part of the discussion soon. So it's going to be exclusive. It's not just you look at this one episode. We're talking English, we're talking Tagalog. Later on, we can speak in Bisaya. Bisaya man ko, di ba? So,
Mingaw ka naman mag-Bisaya.
The original plan was a 6-episode run.
Yes, I think it's going to be longer.
But this is already our 4th.
Yeah.
And at the ratings are going mukhang
mag-extend hanggang 2022.
And honestly, like the more resource people that we can get on the show to shed light on a lot of issues, to answer questions, then that would be great. So
I think how do I say this? I think we are emotional voters. We are emotional
Yes.
watchers of politics.
Yes.
We watch politics. Yung pagkapanood natin ng politics, parang hinihintay talaga natin sumulpot si Juan Luna, si Andres Bonifacio, si Jose Rizal. Hinahanap-hanap natin yung mga bayani natin sa mga namumuno. That's really what we're looking for. And good news, bad news pala. Na, they're not alive anymore, but they're good exemplars. But I want us to know is, how do I say this? Teka, na-conscious kasi ako na mag-Tagalog daw. Pati English muna ako, sandali.
Ah, wait, Yang, wait,
Oh.
if you think don't be conscious about talking
Sige,
Tagalog
sige. Sige.
because if you think your Tagalog is bad, oh my God.
Hindi, okay ako mag-Tagalog. May ibang
Ako ang
na
bad.
mas malinaw ako sa English. Sandali ganito. Why are we picturing politics like it's theology, like it's religion, like it's inspiration, like it's poetry? It isn't. Why are we looking for inspiration for our politicians? That's insane. You know what we need to look for from politicians? One, don't from me. Two, please use the money we give through tax to build a good school. Three, give me my road. Give me my roads. Give me my bridge. Give me a market that's decent and fair, etc. Please protect us from foreigners who want to buy our country. Yun lang. You know what it is? It's elaborate, complex, beautiful, elegant housekeeping. But it's just housekeeping. Give me my SSS. Give me my GSIS. Give me my my PhilHealth. By the way, 15 billion. Where's the PhilHealth? Give me my DOH. Give me my DepEd. Yun lang. Yun lang. Why are we voting like they are to be our inspiration? Do you know that we can get our inspiration from musicians, from poets, from artistas, from pintor, from
Yeah.
sculptor? Doon na lang. Hiwalayan mo yon. Ang kailangan mo lang from the politician is your PhilHealth, the DepEd, the bridge, the RFID that's efficiently tied in with every other expressway services. So please remember, you need not be in love with your household helper. You do not need to be in love with your driver for them to drive. Their purpose is to give you a service. Mang Estong drives me. I'm not in love with him. I love him, but I don't have to be crazy about him. I care about Mang Estong. Ate Terry helps me. MWF. I love her, but she's not my true love, and I am not lesbian. So why are we looking for service from these people? Why are we not looking primarily for service from these people? Why are we looking for someone to love and adore? I don't get that. Yung mga I adore this president, sex god. What? Really? What? I don't get that. Did you vote? What? Where's the brain? I don't understand. So, yes, give me my service. Give me the services. It's just, and I repeat, it's just elaborate, complex, elegant housekeeping. That's all government is. So look for someone who will give you the services, not necessarily a good feeling. Because that good feeling, you're responsible for that. And your friends, you have friends for that, and you have films for that and Netflix for that. Forget that. Get service from the people in power. Don't get inspiration from them. Get inspired by others, by artists. That's a whole different muscle altogether. Hanap ka ng sisilbi sa'yo to give me provided services as promised by the Constitution and as promised by you as a good citizen to give to taxes. Kasi dun galing yung pera eh. So, I don't know why we're looking for true love all the time in all the places. But it's a government, parang you want to be in love with the president. I don't understand that. Why? No, I want the president who represent us in foreign soil properly with a good necktie maybe, or I don't know. Make me us proud naman. You represent us primarily. Show up, di ba? Parang at least yun yung gusto ko. Simple lang naman nun, di ba? Tsaka taga-kumpas lang naman yung presidente. I get it. That's why I keep reminding people, when you think of voting, pag ini-imagine mo na kung sino iboboto mo for 2022, imaginein mo na kung sino yung tropa niya, sino kamag-anak niya, sino ang maaari niyang i-appoint kasi kasama yan. Kasi these appointees are the ones that affect you. They're actually the ones that reach you. Secretary Duque, we're more affected by Secretary Duque's decisions than President Duterte. Right? But you're in love with Duterte, so you're in love with every other choice he makes. I mean, really, come on. think naman. No, I like Duterte. He's funny. I mean, as mayor, he was a great guy. As president, I have so many questions regarding many of his decisions and appointees and reappointees and things, people he moves around. I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. So yun, sorry, I rambled. I'm feeling very strongly about this. Kasi parang hilig natin sa ang hilig natin sa we like someone. I like him, magaan magsalita. I like him, magaan ng feeling. But nakaka-provide ba ng services ng region ninyo? Yun naman muna isipin natin, pwede ba? Lalo na pag magkabaha, lindol, nasan sila, di ba? Yun yung hanapin mo, yun yung iboto mo. Meron akong guide dati on Goyo and Cesca and Pia. Meron akong guide dati. Kasi laki ng impact sa akin ng Ondoy eh. So ang next president ko, sabi ko yung taong mukha at boses na gusto ko makita pag mag-Ondoy ulit. Okay. Na pag makita ko siya, I'll feel comforted. Kahit ganun ka-concrete yung basehan, pwede yun.
Okay. Akin naman, Gaang isa, tama yun na, we like, my take on it naman is, we like some people. Like for example, ako, I like my barber. I like the way he cuts my hair. Well, at least he does it to my eyes now. I like the person who fixes my bicycle, but I'm not going to vote for them for a particular public office because I know that they cannot perform that job. They're good. I mean, he's a really good barber. he cleaned up what I messed up with my hair, no? But I know that I'm going to vote for somebody who fits the office. So I'm not voting for a person because guwapo siya or kaibigan ko. I'm voting kasi alam ko pag manalo yan, kaya niyang gawin yung trabaho ng opisina.
Yeah. Alam mo, Goyo, you're right. Kasi I really, really like you and I like Cesca and Pia, but I'll never go to the three of you to have a root canal. Yeah. I'm gonna go to someone who trained for it, who has
credentials matter.
Yung kaya na, yung talagang pinag-aralan niya. So yeah, somebody who went to train for it. Kasi yung may expertise siya at pinaglaanan niya ng panahon para gumaling siya doon, yun ang mga binoboto.
Exactly.
I think, tama ka. Hindi nga ako magpapadentista sa inyong tatlo, di ba? Bakit?
Ay, malay mo, baka makita tayo.
Bakal po kayong tatlo. Hindi ako magpapadentista sa inyo, di ba?
But see, the point you raised was very important. You don't, it's not a love affair that you should have with your officials. It should be based on accountability. It should be based on the fact that you think they will perform the duties and functions of that office. Yeah. You don't have to love them. You just have to know that they'll do a good job.
Which brings up the subject of please know what the position is about. For example, ang mga senador, ang primary na trabaho nila ay gumawa ng batas. Pag-usapan, mag-debate, mag-propose ng bagong mga batas na makakatulong sa atin, gumaan ng paglalaan ng serbisyo sa atin, etc. Yan ang trabaho, make laws. Yes. Ang mayor ito, ang governor ganito. Ang notion ng Filipino, mostly na nakausap ko, pag bumoto sila ng senador or congress rep man lang, ang napipicture nila mayor, seriously, sa kanila hihingi ng tulong, etc. Nakakalimutan yung executive, legislative, and judicial. I mean, yung three branches. Legislator sila. So, natatawa nga ako pag merong, this bridge was built by congressman, parang gusto ko sabihin, executive decision yung bridge, ang Congress, batas. So, but kung may extra siya, sure, dinonate niya from his own money, which is really no problem with building bridges. But primarily, you are there to make laws if you're a Congress representative. You are there to study the needs of your district and see what kind of laws pa can facilitate the private citizen in your jurisdiction, di ba? So, so mahalaga for us voters, okay, voters, if you're watching, kailangan alam mo kung anong job description ng pwesto at piliin mo yung taong bagay doon.
Well, a lot of people look at both houses of Congress kasi as the budget side, no, they allocate budget for the annual budget, but their main job is to legislate national laws, di ba? Yeah. Parang for example, may problema ka sa barangay, sino tatawagan mo? Yung congressman mo? Hindi. Yung tawagan mo, yung magiging captain, di ba? Because that's a job. The job of the legislator, whether house or lower house or upper house, is to legislate laws. The executive has a different set of functions in running the particular political subdivision, di ba?
I think we actually have an episode lined up to discuss the roles of
Yes. And Kang will
each
come back for
position.
that.
Oh, yeah, the
Yes.
roles of
So, baka may part 2 tayo with Yang.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Just to be more in-depth. Because yun na nga, like you guys brought this up, na a lot of people don't really get the specific roles of each government position
Official.
or
Tama.
each official. So, yun na nga, like, and we are actually going on an hour already. But
No,
also,
actually, meron pa
we can
tayong a
discuss
little
this more
time.
in depth.
We can
Kasi-
have we can have a little more time if
Yeah,
if,
Because we restarted, di ba?
yeah, we started
Yeah.
kasi we had a
Sabi,
public
may comment si Boyet Season. Can he join daw in an episode? Sige,
Next
tignan
week,
natin.
Boyet.
Kung may,
Hi, Boyet.
if you have something to say, paglaban nyo yan.
next tutugtog kami ni Boyet ng music, di ba?
Sure.
magiging party na siya.
Ay, well, there's a political party, there's a music party. Anyway, so yeah, but there's there's some comments here about Pasig City Mayor Vico
Mhm.
Soto. I would like to emphasize that we've read, I've personally read a lot of positive comments about Pasig City, but the Philippines is not just composed of NCR. There's a lot of really good mayors and local officials all over the Philippines who are doing a lot of good things, but maybe we just don't notice them because they're from a different region or they're from Mindanao. I know some in Mindanao na grabing kayo nila. They worked so hard, humble, even after how many years of service, but they're not heard because they're far from the coverage of the media and far from NCR, diba? So let's do ourselves a favor and look at local politicians, either in your region, province, and see who are the people worth emulating, who are the people worth supporting. Diba?
emulating. Do we need to emulate? They need to emulate us.
Well, emulate in such a way that I think that was not the right word, but it might also be that, there are some kasi na I've seen many who change when they've come into power office.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen also several who remain grounded, feet on the ground, as in you call them, they still answer you. When you ask them questions, they take time to reply to you. They're emulate the fact in the sense that they remain grounded, they remain humble, and they remain true to the fact that they know what they're there for. They're there for public service. They're public servants, and they know that that's the role to help the people. Diba? They're not the bosses. We are the bosses, and they recognize that.
Some.
Yeah.
So, siguro, but are we out of time?
No,
No, meron pa. Okay lang yan.
Meron pa.
Si Andrew nag-complain, I talk too much daw. But it's fine. Sorry, ako yung nasa mic eh. So, tiisin mo na lang. Tiisin mo na lang. Next time, ikaw. Anyway, so what I want to say is that if you are going to vote, parang baka it's time to re-examine our criteria. Like kung ano yung inuuna natin when we vote. And the tertiary, like the third option would be consult your feelings. First and second, your logic. What have they done? History. Yung what kind of person, I'm problematic about that because we're not all kind people. We're not all, but at least function. At least at the very least, does he function? He or he function, and is he or she trained for that position? I think that's the first and second. Yung feeling mo about him, the way you like their sensibilities, how they look, how they talk. Baka kasama yan sa criterion, by the way, pero hindi siya yung number 1 or 2.
Can I just jump in here
Sure.
and just throw out one thing that frustrates me so much? Dahil gwapo siya at mukha siyang mabait are not valid reasons to vote for someone. Please.
Oh yeah.
Pero Cesca, kung spokesperson, pwede bang kailangan good looking at maganda boses? Di ba kasama yun sa requirement? Yeah. Good looking, wala naman problema yung good looking, pero pwede bang fourth option na siya sa checklist. Ganyan.
Alam mo, good looking. Pag may
Sige,
pag
okay,
merong
sige,
laman yung
just like move that
sinasabi,
down to the bottom of your criteria, please.
nagiging good looking yung tao pag may laman yung sinasabi niya, at saka pag may sense, at saka pag dignified, 'di ba? There's so many ways, like kasi hindi naman isa lang ang standard para sa good looks eh. For
Yeah,
me, it's more like the tone of voice,
Ano?
the way they treat other people.
Presentable?
Importante yan. Oo. No, it's important na may laman yung sinasabi niya, may laman yung utak niya, 'di ba?
Siguro sa larangan ng requirement of looks, ang number one for me is presentable, like appropriately dressed, appropriately
Yes, yun
Ay,
that's
naman.
true.
Oo.
That's true.
shows up in kasi it's you respect the occasion by dressing up.
You respect other people, yeah, by
I
dressing up.
think
Yeah.
any particular job does require a
Yes,
certain,
dress code.
di ba? Parang
Kaya president, di ba?
present yourself a certain way eh.
Tama.
Oo nga eh. Kaya nga hindi ko ma-imagine na maliit. How do I say this? Diba nagka-time na hindi maayos yung pagka-necktie ni President Duterte. Tapos maraming nag-complain about it and a lot of them say, well, magaling naman yung policies, ganyan, etc. Maliit na bagay ang necktie. Pwedeng maliit na bagay. Pero nasa ibang bansa siya nun representing us. So, malaki yun. Actually, symbolic yun. Kahit yung neatness lang and appropriateness of what to wear. So for many people, they think it's very, very irrelevant. But for those who know the world a little bit more, you know that counts. Maybe it might not be the number one thing. Kasi ayoko rin naman ng sobrang high fashion tapos wala namang sinasabi. I get that
All
balance.
style, no
Hala, may
substance.
alam tayong pa-high
Problema
fashion.
din yun.
But we need not be this or that naman or the other. May number line naman yun. Hindi
Kaya
naman
nga,
siguro or
ako
test.
naman, the way I see it, kung napakaliit lang na bagay yon, bakit hindi pa pwedeng gawing tama, di ba? Napakaliit lang nun eh.
But there are
Ayusin
people
mo,
who
di
do
ba?
There's supposed to be
Ay
there's
lang.
a protocol officer. There are people that are supposed to fix that.
Yeah, si Mr. Picornell is the protocol officer for a long time of the palace, di ba?
Okay. So they should do it, di ba?
So, yeah.
Tsaka once it's pointed out, then it's a chance for you na baguhin yon to improve, di ba? Hindi yung paulit-ulit mong gagawin, di ba?
Nakakatawa kasi both camps who say it's irrelevant and relevant, both camps say ang liit na bagay eh. And they say it in the same tone. Yung parang, necktie? You're picking on the necktie. Ang liit na bagay eh. Yung other side naman, necktie lang, hindi mo maayos. So it's really funny. But it comes in the territory of being head of state. Everything is magnified about you. Everything you do is symbolic. Like the time of Noynoy, nung bumili siya ng Porsche. Di ba? You think that's nothing because it's his money naman and it's okay. He never, the thing that makes him happy. But for me, because he was president at the time already, must have been halfway through his first year, everything Noynoy does is poetic na, symbolic na. Hindi ka na ordinary citizen, head of state ka eh. So yeah, kahit
Yes. Dapat alamin yun ng mga tao in office, di ba?
Kahit necktie, symbolic. Oo, tama.
You are representing an office. You are not anymore just yourself. With great blah blah comes great responsibility.
Power comes great responsibility.
That's true.
Hello, Spider-Man.
But
That is
before,
true.
like before I was in office, diba? When I talked, I know that people would not differentiate me talking as a private citizen and me talking as a common commissioner. So I had to bear that in mind in the things I do, things I wear, because they see that representing the office I occupy, diba? They don't. It's hard to sometimes distinguish between the person and the office. Eh? So you have to acknowledge that, and you have to understand that.
And when the person says yes to join an office or head an office, he is in the public eye immediately subsumed. Kasama yon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sa president to, hindi to Duterte. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and even
Correct.
yeah, mayors, the governors, they occupy that office. So people, when they see you, they say, "Oh, he's the governor. He represents the office of the governor." they can't distinguish you as a person and the office, di ba?
Hindi, di ba? Even if kunyari clerk of court or the person who works dun sa munisipyo, di ba? Especially when you're a government employee, you do represent the government. Kasi, ano yan? Civil something?
May civil service code naman.
Yes. Oo.
Tsaka, yun nga yung term hold office. You hold.
Hello.
Diba?
Alam mo, madami dyan. A lot of things. Parang if you wanna look at it as a sacrifice, you have to have, di ba? Parang, kumbaga, babalik na naman ako dun sa mga tumatawag na adulting. When you grow up nga, di ba? Hindi ka na, syempre, when you're a kid, you wanna be a grown-up. When you're a grown-up, you wanna be a kid. You always want, di ba, that's human nature. You always want what's on the other side, di ba? Pero, yun na nga, it's the facts of life that you're gonna grow up. So, just grow up. And, you can't anymore do a lot of things, even eating, di ba? There are things that you're not supposed to eat anymore at a certain age.
Oh, I disagree. That one.
I disagree. Sorry.
I disagree.
I want a sweet ecstasy burger delivered to me. Hindi ko lang.
Not every day, di ba?
No, but
you have to watch it already kasi that's science, di ba?
Ako more, oo, talaga you need to know where you are. So that's very good, no?
Yeah, diba?
Focus is foci, from the Latin word foci, you know where you are. So meaning sa Tagalog, lugar. Saan ang lugar mo? Ang lugar mo ngayon, President, Office of President, Presidential Communications, whatever. Kung yan ang lugar mo, lumugar ka.
Ako, lugar ko, I'm a mother, di ba? Dapat maging good example ako sa mga anak ko, di ba? So parang a lot of things, hindi ko na pwedeng, totoo naman di ba? A lot of things, hindi ka na, sabi ko, di ba, what if, kunyari, ako yung, di ba, parang walang rules, walang ano. Siyempre, sabihin nyo ng mga anak ko na parang, ba't ikaw, mom, di ba? Yeah. So, it's a lot of responsibility. I always bring it back to the home kasi that's my role, gang, eh. Kasi yun lang lagi yung tingin ko talaga sa mundo. It's the family. Diba? So, the head of the family, that's the head of society, di ba?
Yeah, ako, uulitin ko mahalaga pag-isipan lagi yung your place, lugar.
Lumugar ka.
Kasi halimbawa ako, I do disaster response. So pag nasa labas kami with a group of friends, kailangan ako yung may extra charger, ako yung may extra battery.
Correct.
Ako yung may scissors, glue gun, ganyan. Ako yan.
At saka doesn't mean na we're not fun anymore, ha?
Hindi naman. May lugar
yun na nga di ba? Lumulugar lang tayo. I'm just saying kasi meron na namang magsasabi ng di ba?
Hey, I have a question.
Okay, go.
I have to share. When you say, it doesn't mean we don't have fun because there is no denying the President Duterte has a sharp sense of humor. May wit pang inuman siya. He's really funny. The timing, he's funny, very chill. Sometimes it's off. I think it's just that. Wala lang sa lugar. When you're in the podium in Japan, you don't crack jokes like that. So, it's not that he's a bad person. I think he just forgets saan yung lugar. He forgets anong lugar siya. You don't say the same, you don't use the same vocabulary when your in-laws are in the dinner table. Right?
Correct.
I have a large percentage of my vocabulary gone when I'm sitting with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law.
Correct.
Wala na yan sa
Respeto.
range of topics or even range of questions. So, and for many people, automatic yun. We self-regulate. Yun yung statistical norm. Kung wala ka sa statistical norm, hindi ka nakaka-regulate. So, wala ka sa lugar. Kahit nandyan yung lola mo, nagba-bad word ka, kahit nandyan yung, di ba? So, may occasional irreverence which makes it funny. Pero when it's too much, I think there's something unregulated, and I think that should be watched out for. If ever, as a mental health practitioner, that's like my comment on the president. It's not so much that he's evil or rude or etc. I just think he forgets the place. He forgets his place.
With that,
and
I think
on that note,
we should discuss more.
I feel like we have so much more to discuss with Gang. We're gonna have to ask her to come back.
Yeah, but we'll discuss next time the roles of the different elective officials, diba? I think let's do that now. What's the role of the president, vice president, senator, congressman,
cabinet secretaries?
We have an episode on their roles and what kind of mental wellness competency should.
I love how she always brings out the mental wellness.
I know,
of course.
Yes,
kailangan talaga yan.
Yes.
Cesca, kasi I don't think we can solve by solve, I use that term loosely. I don't think we can get to a better place politically or even economically if we don't have the mental wellness of the individual to make decisions in check. I think it really starts from mental wellness. If you have someone with a deep personal disorder and abandonment issues making decisions for us, we are really in trouble.
And narcissism.
Narcissism also, yeah. So that's we all have tinier versions of it. It's not on off switch. It's not you have it or you don't. I think we're all in a spectrum. I think I just want us to keep us all in a healthy spectrum of being narcissist, controlling, etc. May advantages naman lahat.
And
But
let's be
ayoko lang
real
yung
here.
sobra.
Except the
2020 was
sociopath.
already horrible enough for our mental wellness.
Oh, it's okay. You can go to
2020 is not a great year for mental wellness, guys. I will just admit
go
that.
to Manila Bay and look at the Dolomite sand. You'll be all right.
Nag-refill
Okay,
ka.
on that note, I think we really have to wrap up kasi Dolomite, napunta na sa Dolomite.
Okay. So, guys, thank you very much. We'll make
Thank you, gang.
Gang, thank you very much for
Thanks,
joining us. Hope to see you next time,
Yes, we're booking you again.
We're booking you. Wala na, reserve that.
Yeah.
Reserve namin.
Mental wellness of public officials.
Oh, yeah.
We won't
Yes.
test them. We'll just say the general required. And in the process, we'll learn about our own mental wellness too.
Okay.
And
Sure.
to everyone who sent in their questions, Goyo is in charge of figuring out who gets sweet ecstasy. So thank you. And
Thank
we
you
will
to
be
all
with
the
you guys
viewers.
again
Spread
next
the
week.
word.
Again, this is every Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's
Yeah.
Tuesday. And hopefully you guys learned something from this discussion. Once again,
I
thank
learned.
you so much, gang. Well, si Goyo, I learned. Ako rin.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, gang.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chaka, Pia, and Goyo. Check
Bye.
SCATS.
Thank you. See you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. I'm gonna leave the meeting now. How?